Hi everybody, I want to show you something that can help you if you're working with a mixed meter line in FL Studio. I'm sure everybody knows that you can go into the project general settings and you can change the beats per bar, and you can change the steps per beat, and we can get compound time signatures, complex time signatures. If you work the math, you can figure out just about anything. But the problem is that you cannot change that. Once you set this, this is 4 beats per bar, 4 steps per beat. This is basically 4/4 time, and it's set. My song is in 4/4 period. I can't change it. I can't go in here and and automate this or do anything with it, and it'll jack everything up. So when I come to the grid, now it's not helping me at all because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have a mixed meter uh, line right here. If we listen to it, right? This is 3 groups of 5 and then a group of 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. So I'm not going to be able to create this using these general settings. So what we have to do is we have to find a new way of highlighting the grid, because all that I have here are, for viewing on the grid, I can go by beats, I can go by uh, nothing or bars, but you can also go by markers. And let me show you how this works. So I'm gonna select my first 5 right here. I'll press, well, here, let's do it. Let's do it this way first. We go down into time markers and we'll just add one. It's Alt T. All right, I'm going to say, well, this is 5/8. Okay, and then I'm going to press Shift and I'm just going to drag this over. All right, here's my next 5. I'm going to press Alt T. 5/8. There's my next measure. Move it 5 more. Alt T. There's 5/8. And then the last bit is 6. Well, I don't have anything else, so we can just say, here's 6/8. And now I have markers, but you see the grid is still showing 4/4 and the highlights are on the beat. So that's not helping me much. So if I just go to view and then I go to time segments and I go to markers, now it's going to highlight at the markers. So that can help us a lot, a lot. If I wanted to double this, see, it doesn't keep the markers. That's the only downside. But I could again do the same thing. Alt T, give myself 5/8, move over. It is a bit tedious. And if you're using, Sibelius for notation, I use Sibelius, or if you're using Finale, or even if you're using other DAWs that support time signatures, you know, you're not going to have to do every single measure as long as it's not repeating. Now, if your mixed meter is changing every single measure, then FL Studio in this way is just like using, when I'm using Sibelius, it's the same thing. I have to put in the key signature for every single time, and I have to either copy and paste, or I have to, click through a few things, and the clicks are about the same. So if you're alternating every single measure, it's about the same. And you can see when we view out, this is much, much easier to see where the measures are, right? And you can do the same thing on the playlist. The only problem is see, I've already done this on the playlist here. The only problem is that they are, uh, again, you have to go through every single one. It makes it look nicer and it makes it a lot easier. And then I can line up I can take my patterns, I can line up and I can make sure that, oh, well, this is not right. So I can get my patterns there. The other way to do it is to just cut. If you just cut your pattern and you just make 5/8 and 6/8 patterns individually, you could do that. But still, I would recommend, um, in the playlist, going with uh, the time markers all the way. The downside, though, is you can see there's only another downside, I should say, is that there's only the changing color where you have done the time markers. From here on out, there's nothing. And so you can see I've worked on more of the song, and you can see all of my cuts within the within the pattern. And you can also, you have longer patterns, you can make sure that they line up just by the time markers in the pattern clip. So I hope that helps, and keep making music.